We've got 3 hot pictures to review. 2 new commanders leaked on the official Rise of Kingdoms Facebook page. I guess it's not exactly a leak. This is official news on the Rise of Kingdoms Facebook page, and 2 photos in the Google Play Store. These might just be flashy looking marketing material, or maybe there's stuff we can learn from these photos. Let's get started. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and we're kicking things off with the 2 new commanders that were teased on the official Rise of Kingdoms Facebook page. On the official page, they posted this. Guess what? New commanders! Yes, these 2 new commanders are arriving soon to Rise of Kingdoms. Governors, let's check your commander's knowledge and intuition, guess their talents, and get a chance to win some special in-game bundles. Now, what I want to call your attention to is the deadline of June 28th. To me, this would indicate that we will see these new commanders most likely in the next Mightiest Governor. On the 28th, they're going to lock submissions for this contest. On the 29th or so, they'll probably start to reveal other things, if I had to guess, like their talents, maybe their skills over the next couple days. And then, boom, it should roll right into a Mightiest Governor cycle. I mean, this is only for, I would assume, the Season of Conquest, so you have to be in Season 4 of KVK and beyond to potentially get access to these commanders. P.S. If you're getting value from this video and you just don't want to miss when news lands in Rise of Kingdoms, then consider subscribing. We always cover this stuff as soon as it hits. Subscribe! But let's go and do some digging to see what we can learn about these 2 historic figures. First up is the Korean general that was on, well, when I look at it, the left, and he was one of the honored swordsmen that, like, would have gotten a special, rare, and very decorative sword that was used to protect the nation. Now, depending on what you read here, and I've only looked at this for a couple minutes to try to figure this out, you can see he's listed here in the middle as a civil official and swordsman who became famous for his feats in an invasion. So I think they were taking back territory, and I read over here that he had built 9 defensive fortifications. I don't know how true any of these websites are. It points out that he had a major fall from grace. One site I read said he was falsely accused. Another said he was, in fact, treasonous. So, hard to say, but ultimately he was apparently sent into exile. Pretty wild. So what would I guess that his talents are going to be? I mean, we're overdue for infantry. So I think both of them are going to have the infantry tree straight away. That would be my guess. Easy to make that choice. From there, he's either going to be garrison or conquering. If you think that his building fortifications was more important, then and the sort of role of one of these swordsmen as a defender of the nation, then I would think that garrison would be the pick. If you think the fact that he's known for having conquered some stuff in these battles, then maybe the conquering tree would make the most sense. I honestly am a little bit terrified of another infantry garrison commander coming into the game. I'm going to guess that he is going to be infantry, maybe also attack, and garrison. That would be very similar to another Korean commander that we've got, that is Olji Mundok. That would be my guess for what he's going to be. I think it's equally likely he could have the skill tree instead of the attack tree. That also seems very viable to me. Now, the other commander on the right, I could not find information about him. I mean, there's this one picture here, and like there's sort of some similarities. He looks a little bit like Moctezuma, but that's just because he was a king of the Mayan nation. Well, he was an Ajah. What does this mean? Ajah. Okay, the interpretation here is that it is a leader, ruler, lord, king, or queen, depending on the individual. They perform religious activities. It is also a designated member of the Mayan priesthood. A political leader throughout the extent of the territory and influence. varied considerably. Okay. They were, in theory, recognized as overlords of another person, dynasty, or state. Wow. So I think this is also an infantry commander. I think that is certainly the case. We are overdue for infantry commanders right now. In fact, let's just jump in game. If we just get a quick look at the infantry commanders that we've gotten for Mightiest Governor and also Wheel of Fortune, we've got Constantine, who's got infantry, garrison, and support. We've got Alexander the Great, infantry, versatility, and attack. We've also got Guan Yu, infantry, conquering skill. What else do we have in here? Harold, infantry, conquering skill. Zenobia, infantry, garrison, support. So where am I going with this? We've also got Leonidas, infantry, versatility, and defense. Oh, defense. Man, defense would actually be super cool for the other commander we were looking at earlier, the Korean commander. Defense would actually be very reasonable. Like a defender of the nation. I might even revise my estimate for the previous commander to be infantry, defense, and either... You couldn't be defense and conquering. There are no defense conquering commanders, are there? That'd be kind of a cool first, but seems unlikely. I mean, infantry, defense, garrison seems actually pretty reasonable to me, but we've already got two of those, Charles Martel and also Richard I. But we're talking about the commander who looks similar-ish to Moctezuma. I think infantry is going to be there. We're overdue for those. I think that versatility is going to be on one of these two commanders, and I think that given how little we know about this commander that's coming, and kind of what he did, just because there's not as much history documented about them, I think versatility seems likely. So I think infantry, I think versatility for the tree in yellow. And the tree in blue, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. For open field, I mean, skill would be probably preferred, but our options are mobility, which I do not think is going to be the case, skill, defense, or attack. I think skill or defense seem like the most likely to me. I don't think this particular Mayan or the Mayans in general were known for attacking, were they? I don't think so. So I would guess, if I had to, that it's going to be infantry, versatility, and probably skill. That's going to be my guess. It's going to be an open field commander. Again, I'm just totally guessing. The other one might be good in open field, but I think also is going to be good in garrison. Let me know down below in the comments what you think is your guess for these commanders. And of course, if you post on the official Facebook page, you have a chance to actually win something, which is kind of cool. Looking at the other two pictures that we've got here, form a coalition. This is in the Google Play Store marketing material. Cheers, Ruz. Thank you for finding this for me and sharing it. Form a coalition. Well, this is true. We know this, right? You form a coalition in the Season of Conquest. And this looks like could be a sea battle sort of a thing going on here, right? Except if you get a close look, something kind of funky's going on in this picture. First of all, rip their resources, way too low. The amount of resources they have here is way too low to actually get anything done. Also, when you get a close look at Pelagius, is that a British flag behind his head? What's going on here? I think this is just marketing material. Also, Double C's got the same thing going on, right? And if you remember, I actually got a look at previous marketing material that pointed to like a level 30 city hall. And one of the tells that was marketing material and not, the current design of the game was that it used some of those icons that we see in the upper left. That also is perhaps a tell that like this is more marketing material than what we're actually going to see. Also, for what it's worth, I mean, when you look in game, you can see that the power is listed with commas. And in the photo we've got, no commas. I mean, look, I'm just trying to work with the information that I have, okay? Maneuver across a huge map is true. We form coalitions in the Season of Conquest KVK. There are they've said going to be sea battles. I think this is designed to sort of represent maybe a big picture idea, but I don't know that I would take from this anything that would say, like, here's what the new version of KVK, the Trojan horse version, is going to look like. And the final picture, though, also is worthy of a good look. 3 bosses here are on display. 3 boss fights. The Trojan Meter, the Battle of, is it Chibi? And Savage Soul. And there's a player count in the upper left portion of each of those images. It looks like there's a 4-player indicator, 12 to 20, and then a 20-player indicator. And there is a boss count on these. So all the way in the left, it looks like there are 3 bosses. There are 4 bosses on the one in the middle and 5 bosses on the one in the right. To me, this looks very similar to Ian's Ballads in terms of its design, which I actually really like the idea of, like, new versions of Ian's Ballads. This is a template that's in-game that they could start to use. They just don't have anything other than the one we've been playing with slight variations on the skills for the bosses. And it looks like this resets in 3 days. That's what it says in the screenshots here. Well, slightly less than 3 days. But it's that 3-day time horizon that makes me a little concerned / cautious. Because the way that this works today is that Ian's Ballads is a 2-day event. So maybe this is something that is a part of the Ian's Ballads. Maybe this is just sort of an artistic representation of where the game could go or things that might come into the game. I would honestly love to see more variations to Ian's Ballads, things that are super fun and, like, hopefully not too repetitive, that are fun to kind of learn the first time around at least. And I know, like, look, in World of Warcraft, like, you do the boss a bunch of times and you get used to how it's done. And some fights are, like, really fun to repeat and others are just kind of grindy. Hopefully this would err more on the side of just actually being really fun to play through rather than, you know, you just kind of grind your way through it, you check the box, get it done, and you move on with life. That would be my hope. Let me know down below in the comments what you think of these pictures. Thanks again, Ruz, for pointing out these 2 pictures, which are in the official Rise of Kingdoms Google Play store. And then, boom, this is in the official Rise of Kingdoms Facebook page. I'm eager for your thoughts on all of it, especially what do you think the talents are going to be? Are we going to get another commander to pair with Zenobia that makes Garrison even more insane? Or hopefully, are we going to be using infantry to counter infantry? Is one of these commanders going to be the counter to Zenobia? Gosh, we could use a counter to Zenobia. Let me know. And until next time, you have fun, smash in the kingdom, and check out that video in the info button if you want to see when we evaluated the picture of the City Hall 30 screenshot in the store.